Well, hello there. Future Kate. For those of you who may have watched the last video, which is all about the tools of unlearning, you'll know that I talked for a very long time. So long, in fact, that I had a lot more to say about unlearning, and something that you might want to be really careful about in how you use the tools of unlearning so that you use them in a way that's truly helpful to you rather than self-injurious. And you'll see what I mean when I get into it. So this is editing Kate here from the way future compared to this video. Lots has happened. I'll tell you all about it eventually. And so for now, here's some more thoughts on how to use the tools of unlearning in a really loving way. There's always a balance to strike in life between working on ourselves, spending time working on ourselves, versus spending time savoring what is. So I think that it's important to spend as much time on unlearning as is needed to be able to savor your life and to play. I think unlearning for unlearning's sake is kind of pointless in that it just becomes another success metric that is divorced from any felt sense of well-being. So for anyone who's using unlearning as like a relentless self-improvement tool, which is something that I have done, so I know, and I'm calling you out on it, just remember that unlearning is really all about discarding the layers that are forming a wall between your true essence and walking in the world in a way that aligns with that essence and aligns with your values. And that requires a certain belief in the goodness that's inside of you. For a long time, I used unlearning, or let's say self-improvement, because it wasn't really unlearning. For a long time, I used self-improvement as a way to just convince myself of my perpetual badness and wrongness. I used productivity systems and so many tools and like always beating up on myself. You know, you could do this better, you could do this better. You suck at this. Like, I was always finding new things to improve. And of course, I was always finding myself falling short. I actually went to therapy at first, not because I was concerned for my well-being, but because I was like, I'm broken. I need to figure out how to be, a productive little robot in exactly the way that I've been conditioned to believe that I need to be. That is the antithesis of unlearning. I'm just going to put it out there. The antithesis of unlearning. Because unlearning is about letting go of destructive, unhelpful habits and beliefs. I think a lot of us have really deeply learned that somehow our natural desires and urges are bad or wrong, or that our unique expression and unique set of values is not correct. And again, like, it's inevitable that we won't be a perfect fit for our family values, or we won't be a perfect fit for society's preferred set of behaviors. And so there'll always be a little part of us that's like, am I not good because I don't fit? I think, again, children are, it's safer to believe that there's something wrong with you than to believe that there's something wrong with your environment as a child, because you depend on your environment to help keep you alive. So anyway, that's a little bit of a diversion, but oh my gosh, where was I going with that? I think it is really easy to assume that there's something bad or wrong about us and our preferences. And so please tread lightly when you're thinking about unlearning. We're really not unlearning fundamental truths about the things that light us up or the things that we value deeply. We're unlearning the things that are blocking us from accessing that. We're unlearning the things that are preventing us from reclaiming lost parts of ourselves and becoming a little bit more whole. And so I would just encourage you to keep that in mind and approach this topic of unlearning with gentleness, with a lot of self-love and compassion. And if you're not able to start to question the things that are making your life unfulfilling or unsatisfying, without the help of a therapist, please go seek out a therapist who will serve as that person who will be able to hold space for the wonderful, lovable, deeply perfect in your own wonderful, imperfect way being that you are, because that's what all of us are. We're just all a slightly different shaped flower or snowflake. There's no such thing as a perfect one. There's just the absolute sacred beauty of the essence of that one thing. So, as I just finished saying, therapy is amazing, and I also want to encourage you to think about coaching. What I mean by that is life coaching. There are certain topics that are really sensitive and, require the deep expertise of someone who knows how to work with trauma and like deep depression, etc. And that would be a therapist. And life coaches are also capable of holding that loving space for you as you start to figure out like, what is really me and how do I remove, as I said, like those layers that are preventing myself from bringing more of me, the whole me, into the world. And so I would really strongly encourage you to think about coaching as well, as a complement to therapy, or coaching in its own right can be just a fantastic space for unlearning. And I have a lot more to say about that because I am actually a life coach. And so I'm excited to be able to help people with that particular skill set and hold space for people to shed those layers and start to dream up what would it look like to bring more of my full self into the world. Anyway, so officially gonna wrap this up. I think I filmed all of the, this past video and maybe the previous 2 videos in March, April, something like that, of 2021. It is now December 29th, 2021 as of this recording. So it's been a long while. Obviously I'm in a different setting. I told you that I was gonna move. Yeah, and I have a lot more to talk about. So just excited to keep getting to know you. And if this series of videos on unlearning has impacted you in some way, I would love to hear about it. What has it provoked in you? Like, what new ways of looking at these tools that we've been discussing have been helpful? I would just love to hear from you in general. So, because that will also help me to know what things will be most useful to keep focusing on and making more videos about. Which is what I want to do, is be of service and be helpful. Because my goal is to normalize mental health, normalize thinking about emotions, normalize questioning the beliefs that we've all grown up with, and normalize kind of playing around with the things that are painful in our lives in such a way that we can hopefully have them be a little bit less painful. And not just in a kind of problem-solving tactical way, but really in a mindset way and in an emotionally healing way. That's it for now. I hope you have a wonderful end to 2021. By the time you see this, I'm sure 2021 will be over. And that you have a great start to 2022 and that it only gets better. I know it's been a really hard couple of years. Same for me as well. It's been so intense. Hopefully we can all unlearn and become whatever is right for us in this next phase of life. And let's do it together. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.